Today we're going to be talking about the FBA Capacity Manager, how to find it, how to use it, and everything you need to know about the FBA capacity limits, which went into effect March 1st, 2023. So here I am in Seller Central. I'm just going to go to my FBA inventory page here. Select the inventory dropdown, click Inventory Performance, and here, this is where I've previously been able to view my IPI score, ways to improve inventory performance, but now we also have this Capacity Monitor tab at the bottom. When you click here, it expands to give you information on your current usage, your capacity limits, etc. Let's talk a little bit about this change. So, Amazon's FBA capacity management system is now fully in effect, and it's designed to give sellers more control over their FBA inventory capacity. Restock limits and storage limits will be combined into a single monthly metric known as the FBA capacity limit. Amazon will also allow professional sellers to offer bids for additional storage capacity. Amazon sets these capacity limits during the third week of each month. This includes sellers' limits for the upcoming month and an estimate for the 2 following months, which allows for planning inventory in advance. Capacity limits are determined in part by your IPI score here, as well as other factors such as historical sales volume, seasonal and peak selling periods for your products, forecasts for your ASINs. It's also dependent on Amazon's fulfillment center capacity. Another major change, capacity limits are now measured by volume in cubic feet instead of units, and your capacity is based on your account type. So you'll receive one capacity limit for each type of storage you use, as seen here. For individual selling accounts, the capacity limit is 15 cubic feet, which will remain the same. You cannot bid to increase this amount. For new professional selling accounts, active under 39 weeks or 9 months, you will not have capacity limits. This means that as a new seller, you have around 9 months to establish your sales record so that Amazon can determine how much capacity to grant you moving forward. For established professional selling accounts active over 39 weeks, you will receive capacity limits in Seller Central here. So once we've expanded this FBA capacity monitor, you can see you'll have access to storage types, current capacity usage, and estimated limits for the next 3 months. So the tool offers 7 storage options, which you can access at the top of the tool in these tabs. In the lower left corner of the tool, you'll find a chart that shows your current capacity usage. The chart indicates how many shipments are open and how many are on hand, as you can see here. In the table to the right, you'll see limits for the next 3 months, including the total capacity limit, initial FBA capacity limit, and any additional capacity granted by the capacity manager. So let's open up the capacity manager. Here you can see that we haven't requested any additional inventory. If we had and the request was granted, it would be displayed here. Another important thing to note is that you'll be charged overage fees for the upcoming month if your on-hand inventory exceeds your capacity limit. Overage fees are $10 per cubic foot per month for the amount your inventory exceeds. Additionally, if your open shipments exceed your capacity, you'll be blocked from creating inbound shipments. So here in the Capacity Manager, if you have a professional selling account, you can request additional capacity based on a reservation fee that you specify through the Capacity Manager. Some experts have compared the reservation system to PPC bidding, but for space in FBA fulfillment centers. Amazon has stated that the reservation fee is offset by performance credits earned from the sales you generate using the extra capacity. Performance credits are designed to offset up to 100% of your reservation fee, which means theoretically you wouldn't have to pay for the capacity as long as your products sell through. In other words, Amazon's giving your credit back if you are selling through and correctly estimating the amount of extra capacity you needed. So opening up this request for an increase here, you can see you select your capacity increase period, your requested volume, and your maximum reservation fee. The reservation fee is the amount per cubic foot of capacity requested that you would pay at the end of the specified period if your request is granted and you generate no sales during the period. So your request may be granted at the amount that you specify here or at a lower amount in accordance with Amazon's lowest reservation fee guarantee. And again, this fee can be partially or fully offset by the number of performance credits that you earn. Reservation fees are charged at the end of the specified period, so if you were granted an additional capacity for October 1 through 31, the reservation fees, if any, would be charged in early November. So as you can see in the little information bubble here, Amazon says we will apply the lowest reservation fee to your request. So if other requests are granted at a lower reservation fee for the same period or at a later date, your already granted request will adjust downward to match that lower fee. You can also see here there's an estimate performance credits calculator that you can use. So let's talk about what performance credits are. All sellers who are granted additional capacity and who generate sales using that capacity will get performance credits. Performance credits are earned at a rate of 15 cents for every dollar of sales that you generate using the additional capacity. Amazon considers sales on units that were shipped between the start and end date of the period for ASINs in the storage type for the limit increase, prorated by the percentage of your total limit that the additional capacity represents. Amazon also notes that granted requests for additional capacity that you have early access to are excluded from this calculation. This sounds complicated, so we do recommend using this calculator. One example that Amazon themselves has given on these performance credits is a situation where you receive FBA capacity limit of 1,000 cubic feet for the US standard storage type, and you're approved for an additional 500 cubic feet for a total limit of 1,500 cubic feet. This means that 1/3 of your total US standard size capacity comes from your request, that 500 out of 1,500. Therefore, 1/3 of your sales of US standard size ASINs will qualify for performance credits. Okay, now that we've discussed those terms, back to the request itself. So the first thing that you do is tell Amazon how much additional capacity you want and when. The limit increases can be requested in monthly increments for any future period in which you have a capacity limit or estimated capacity limit. You can request up to 20% of your initial capacity limit or 2,000 cubic feet, whichever is the greater. You set your maximum reservation fee, which we've already discussed. And then once you submit, Amazon will assess fulfillment center capacity, typically twice per week, and grant requests as capacity is available. Amazon will grant requests with the highest reservation fee per cubic foot first and continue in this order until all available capacity has been allocated. If your request is granted, the capacity will be available to you for the entire period that you specified. In this sense, you are bidding for the extra space, but Amazon uses that lowest reservation fee policy, so your reservation fee may be lower. If your request is granted by Amazon, its status will change to granted in the capacity manager, and you'll be notified via email as well. Your new higher limit will be used to determine how much inventory you can send to fulfillment centers and whether FBA inventory overage fees will be charged to your account. When the specified period starts, that's when you'll start earning 15 cents of performance credits for every dollar of sales that you generate using the additional capacity. Those are the basics. We go into more detail on the capacity manager, how to submit requests, how to follow Amazon's recommendations for maximizing your capacity limits, and more in our blog post on envisionhorizons.com. So check that out and leave us a comment if you have any other questions.